And so very important, you don't have a creative problem. You are stuck with your store because every ad dies without teaching you what exactly to do next. So let's break down how to actually run feedback loops inside of your store before the ads even go live. Because this is where most stores already mess it up because they think the feedback loop starts after the launch. But it all even starts before the launch. If you don't know me, I have a growth company called Gabbers Consulting. We manage over $500,000 ad spend. And so without the loops, we wouldn't be where we are today. And so before I'm gonna deep dive into what to do with the feedback loop and how to actually do it, you first have to make very special things here before you even start launching your ads. And so first of all, if you don't define what you're testing before the ad spends money, you won't know what the results mean after you actually spend your money. And so before every creative goes live, you need a simple tracker. It doesn't need to be complicated, but it needs you to force to think. So every creative should have a test number, launch data, creative type, whether it's a new concept or a new variation. You should make clear before you launch your campaign what you're exactly testing. Meaning, are you testing the awareness level, the lead type, the unique mechanism of the problem? And you should write it down. Meaning it should be in a sheet. You could even name your ad set like testing awareness level, part 1, part 2. Most people just write something like new UGC test. That means nothing. That's not a test, it's just a file name and you don't even know what you're exactly testing. A real test, for example, sounds like this. We are testing whether product aware buyers who already tried cheaper neck pillows respond better to a failed solution angle than a generic neck pain angle. And so now you actually know what you're testing. And if it wins, you learn something. And if it loses, you know exactly what to review. And so this is the whole difference between launching and actually testing. So testing means there's a reason behind the ad, a variable you're just trying to eliminate. And the next step, depending what the market tells you from the angle you just tested. The problem is most brands don't have that. They launch 10, 20 or 30 creatives all at once. Then just one randomly hits, they scale it and they think they figured it out, right? But they obviously didn't. They just caught momentum and then they try to scale it until the winner completely fails. And now they think, yeah, Jim just said about them, I tested so many ads, why do I fail? And that's also the reason why you see so many stores, maybe even your own, stuck in the same cycle with the low return on ad spend as soon as you scale, or even though you tested 50 ads, they are not performing as well. And suddenly your winners start fatiguing, cost per acquisition goes down, return on ad spend goes down, and now you panic, you just throw at the wall like 30 ads at once. You try to change the offer, maybe the funnel, but it all doesn't work and it won't work. But the real issue is not that your winners die, because winners die, ads start fatiguing, it's completely normal. Your total addressable market only has one size and it eventually will milk down. Winners always die at some point. The real issue was that you didn't learn enough from the ad you launched. You didn't try to test it. You didn't know what you were even testing with this ad. That's why it's crucial to have a real feedback loop in place. And a feedback loop is way easier than people think. You create an input, so you launch your ads. Then the market gives you an output. What are the numbers? What are the metrics looking like? Then you analyze the metrics. You analyze the output from your input. And now you create a hypothesis. And so now if we go back into our feedback loop right here, you gather feedback because you launch the ads, then you analyze the feedback. And now you act on the feedback. Meaning your next input, your next ads are based on the hypothesis that you made up. And that's literally the whole loop. But most people break the loop right after the metrics come in. They try to strategize, execute, test, get data, but they do nothing useful with it. So the loop never completely closes, and that's the only step you're missing. So it almost connects, but the most important part is missing, and that's where you don't see results in your ad campaign. Now that you understood the crucial essentials for winning ads, we go into the first real step. We'll go into the first real step, and that is tracking. And I know tracking sounds boring, but it's literally the crucial step. It's the foundation, just the same as weight loss. For example, someone tells you, yeah, I want to lose weight. Then you ask your friend, like, what are you doing to lose weight? And he says, I'm eating healthy, but I still wonder why I don't lose weight. Well, obviously you would ask, do you maybe track your calories? Do you know exactly how many reps you are doing in the gym? And they don't. So they don't actually know what's happening. They just have a feeling like, yeah, I'm eating healthy, I'm trying my best, I'm waking up early. And that's what most founders do with their store. They say, we are testing a lot. We are testing this creative. Next week, we launch 13 new creatives. But they don't know what their hit rate is, what the exact variable they were trying to eliminate or validate with the ads they launch. You have to know these things exactly. For example, which awareness levels are winning for my product? Which unique mechanisms are the best that people respond the most to? Your tracker should answer the most important things before you even launch. And so these are some exact questions you have to know before you launch your ads. Who is this ad for? What does the person already know? What do they already believe? What are they skeptical about? What problem or desire are we speaking to? What failed solution are we attacking? What is the unique mechanism for our product we are testing in this ad? And if you have a sheet with the answer for each and every question, for each creative, you can look back at it and think, yeah, this is what we tried with this ad and this didn't work. And so So if you launch your next ads, you change one variable, for example. Now you have this creative, and one creative performed better or worse. It's every single time no creative performs the same at all. And so now if you see you changed this variable, but this creative performed better, maybe that is the variable we have to double down on. For example, another unique mechanism performs better with our product, or another awareness stage performs better, or another avatar. So the point I'm trying to make is that variable isolation plays a huge part in all of this. And what I don't want you to do is test new concepts. A new concept, for example, is a static ad or a video ad. But a variation means the core idea stays the same. You only change one part, for example, the hook, the call to action, the offer, the lead, the proof, the unique mechanism. This is where you test actual variables and not change the whole concept. If you confuse concepts and variables, this may be the reason why your store isn't scaling. But now the ad launched and a new problem comes up. You've launched your ad, you've seen the metrics, and now you review the data. So this is exactly how you should do your review part and what you have to do when reviewing and doing the actual feedback loop. As you can see, first of all, you have to make sure that you change the variable. So did we actually change the variable? Then you have the reviews. For example, did we change the hook or the angle? Did we keep the same offer and targeted the same audience? Was the placement the same? So did we use the same apps, for example, Facebook and Instagram, but did we also use the same placements? For example, did we test on Instagram Reels? Did we activate that they can see that in their story? Did we do multi-placement advertiser ads? Was the call to action the same? And then you have a list, right? Things that you changed in this ad to test what works. So in the optimal case, everything is the same except, for example, your hook, or except, for example, the angle. But the concept, the core idea is the same. And so after you've done this review part, you should come out with exactly what you tested and if it performed better or not. And then you have the hypothesis. And so the hypothesis part is actually what it takes to know what you do in your next ads so that they actually win. How can you make sure that the hypothesis actually gets you results? First of all, it should be very clear why the ad performed or why the ad didn't perform. At the end of this step, you should have an exact statement and what you exactly do for your next ads. Things you should figure out is what variable changed. This was the step before. Then you take this and actually compare the variables. So if you only changed one, perfect, you now know the exact reason. But if you change, for example, the hook and it was another creator because you somehow sourced it, or the AI machine gave you another creator because you don't have enough credits or something, you should make a list and deeply analyze your ads based on the transcript and the measures on how much each variable changed. And then you have, for example, this is a likely cause. The hook was a likely cause because this ad didn't perform. However, the creator, for example, is also a possible cause. Now you go through the framework of ranking. Take all the things and now you make a deep analysis, and based on your knowledge and your skills, or the ones from your creative strategist, you make sure that you rank the most possible reason why this ad didn't perform. The most possible variable which didn't perform is, for example, the angle. This is at number 1. And now based on this fact, you go through the decision of why should that impact results. You ask yourself, why did the angle impact results? And when you make sure that you know the exact variable that changed the performance of your ads, know the exact reason why this variable changed the performance, you go into what should happen next in the test. So based on the two things you made sure in this part, you go on and create the strategy for your next campaign. And so now we come to the part that closes the whole loop, and now your loop is finally finished. Execution. This part is probably the easiest part because now you have the actual reasons in place, and now you just act on the foundation you actually worked out in the 2 steps before. So you build your next batch based on the hypothesis. For example, this angle didn't perform because it has a misalignment with our target avatar. For example, you target women that are 60, and the angle that you tested was that they do too much sport, for example. And so obviously women over 60 are not as active as younger women, for example. Just a very, very clear example why it doesn't work. And so now you go and change the angle to an angle that fits to your target avatar. Now you create the batches with the new angle and you launch them. And that's the actual loop, but it's not just launching more ads and not just copying winners. The loop is gathering feedback, analyzing the feedback, creating a hypothesis, and launching your next batches based on that hypothesis. And then you do it over and over again with the next batches you did. And at some point you have an exact winning awareness stage, an exact winning angle, exact winning unique mechanism, messaging, concept, everything, right? And now you just print winners end on end on end because you exactly know what works for your product. So your insight starts compounding, right? It's like a snowball effect because it's not about how many ads on your account. It's about how can you create the most amount of winning creatives consistently. And you only create winners consistently when every week you move smarter based on the data you get. So the rule is simple. Every test should either make you money or make you smarter. If it does neither, you just wasted your money and created ads for nothing. And so if you're multiple 6 to 7 figure Shopify brand looking to get to 8 figures in 2026, I'd highly encourage you to book a call with me below to get your custom growth plan from our team. And I hope to see you in the call. If not, I'll see you in my next video.